Hello again. Today I'm gonna do a bit of a competition entry for competition set by Lloyd Boon and his push for 250 subscribers. The word has it that Lloyd lost his channel, lost a whole bunch of subscribers when someone hacked his account, which is a sobering thought for the rest of us. But he's rebuilding his channel, and he set this competition, and it's got 5 questions. So I'm going to give it a go. So the first, well, 5 questions. First, number one, you have to subscribe, and I do. Um, the question number two, or the question one, but number two in a list is show two or more albums that deserve to be heard by more people. So I've shown a couple of these before. Yeah. So I'm going to show three. So very quickly, this is English Electric by Big Big Train, a modern prog band from the UK. I've said it before, but if this band were around in the early 1970s with this lineup producing this quality of material, these guys would be considered legends, one of the top 5 bands in all of progressive rock. So this is an absolutely fabulous album. They've recently released first album with a new singer, which is definitely worth getting a hold of. But if you could get a hold of English Electric, even on CD, fabulous. Every track is brilliant. Um, Number two is an album of a deceased artist now that kind of had his big hit or hits in the early 1970s and became a bit of a dance floor thing, and that was The Bottle and Johannesburg from Gil Scott Heron. But this is his final album, I'm New Here, when he's had his stint in prison for drug issues. His voice is smashed to bits, and his diction's not very good, but he does like this kind of talking blues thing here over these kind of modern sonic soundscapes, if you like. Um, you have to. It's kind of not so much soul as that this more modern kind of ambient, scratchy type thing, but still a bit of piano. But yeah, he was an absolutely fantastic artist. Great live, great live artist. Is a great writer too. But I just absolutely adore this album, and I think it's apart from the flurry of press attention when this album was released, it's almost disappeared without trace now. But if you're interested in that sort of thing and you want to listen to a real good legend from that kind of poetry, soul, jazz type thing, then Gil Scott Heron and I'm New Here is definitely worth picking up. And I'm gonna shout out one more time for Stomy Yomashita's Go album from the mid 70s. I think it's 1975. Can't check. I won't check right now. You've heard me talk about this one before, but this has got Steve Winwood on fabulous vocals, Michael Shreve, Al Di Meola on guitar. This is just a superb album. Kind of again proggy but ambient. Definitely that Eastern vibe. But it's absolutely superb. Great atmospheric album. And yeah, wonderful. So, favorite foods. I like a good steak, and I like chicken tikka masala, which is an Indian dish that was, I think, invented in the UK. But this creamy chicken with this lovely, I'm not a foodie, but I can tell you, it's just got this gorgeous sauce that you put your naan bread or chapatis in. It's just absolutely delicious. So those are my favorite dishes. But once a month will do for me. What do I do for a living? Well, I don't do anything anymore. But some of you out there will know that I started my career in procurement. So that was one of the things that most people don't realize, that if you look at a typical organization, particularly a manufacturing organization, but many organizations, if you get revenue coming in from customers in the front door, there's on average about 70% of it is spent going out the back door to suppliers and providers. So I used to manage the 70%. And I did that for the best part of 20 years, and I became um, kind of a little bit of an expert in that field. I studied hard. I also was up to my neck in negotiations, so that was my day job. So again, I did a master's program on strategic procurement, and and then I then morphed into working with salespeople on how to negotiate better deals, more successful outcomes with big, powerful customers. So kind of bringing procurement and sales together. So for about 10, 12 years, I straddled both fields and worked with both constituencies, trying to make them, each of them more successful in what they were doing. But I retired about it. I kind of started taking a pension 2 or 3 years ago, and then formally kind of abandoned all work about a year ago now, and I'm now embracing retirement. Um, what musical instruments do I play? I used to play a little bit guitar. I was determined to play guitar, so when my first daughter was born, I would be able to play her tunes and entertain her. And while Jill was pregnant with Catherine, I used to play guitar in their vicinity, 2 or 3 tunes, and like the maximum a minute. But once the baby was born and everyone's hands is completely full, I just abandoned it. So I still got a guitar sitting around gathering dust, but I don't play. Um, Such a shame. But there you go. That's it. So that's my 5 questions. I think that's all there is to it. So that's for Lloyd Boon's competition. I don't expect to win, but I'm just having a bit of fun, sharing some stories and a couple of albums there for you. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.